What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to The Haunted Beard. My name is Jake. Thank you once again for joining me. So one of my more anticipated movies of 2024 is this film called Cuckoo. And for the last year plus, all we've seen is just one single image that's been released. Well, just a few days ago, Neon dropped a about 30-second teaser trailer, and I decided to give it a watch. And I was very intrigued, and it gave me just enough to even kind of pique my curiosity a bit more than it already was. And this is directed by a guy by the name of Tilman Singer, who is a German filmmaker. And I was looking at his filmography and found out he had actually his directorial debut just a handful of years ago in 2019 with a film called LUZ. So I gave it a watch and wanted to give you some thoughts, and I'll just say, after having now watched that, I'm even more intrigued for Cuckoo, as the director here, Tilman Singer, has a pretty unique visual style. In the film, LUZ, a young cab driver, drags herself into a rundown police station, while at the same time, a demonic entity follows her, determined to finally be close to the woman it loves. And actually found out that this was Singer's student film, and this is an extremely low-budget horror film that clocks in at only 70 minutes. And I'll just say right from the get-go, this is not going to be for everyone. This is something that is very unconventional and very different, but if you want to see something different, you might want to check this one out. And it's a very stripped-down and minimalist presentation of the story, as the film opens up and LUZ walks into a police station, and it just holds on this static shot for probably like 2 to 3 minutes. And then it just completely cuts to a brand new location. There is this man and this woman at a bar, and they start having this conversation. And you kind of just got to get up to speed yourself, and you're trying to figure out what's going on and what's the connection here. And it turns out this woman is possessed by some sort of demonic entity, and she ends up transferring herself to the man who's a doctor that she meets at the bar. And all of this is done in an attempt to reconnect with LUZ, who is the woman that this demon loves. Now, in addition to the very minimal presentation of the movie looks like it is straight out of the late 70s to early 80s. I don't know for sure, but I'd be willing to bet that it was actually shot on film. And it just has this look and quality to it. You see the film grain throughout it, and it just has that like 70s, 80s feel to it. I was getting some Italian giallo vibes a little bit as well. This thing has got a killer like synth score to it that is just fantastic and really complements the film quite well. And like I said, this movie is just put together in a very unconventional way. There are times in the movie where I felt a little bit confused, and it is told seemingly in a confusing way, probably unnecessarily. There's definitely some slower pacing, but the cinematography, though, and the editing really stand out, as Singer just, again, he kind of just does his own thing. This is kind of like a guy, he's like, just screw the rules. I'm going to just make the movie that I want to make, which I really respect and appreciate for the most part. And you'll get shots kind of like the opening where he'll just stay on this static wide shot for like a minute or two, and then he'll cut to like an extreme close-up. And then he'll cut back out to another wide shot and hold on it for another couple minutes. And so he's just doing things that are just a little bit different. But like I said, some of the story is presented in a bit of a confusing and kind of muddled way, as it gets into this hypnosis type scene. And we're getting into these sort of flashbacks and memories that are all being somewhat manipulated by this demon. And again, it does get a little bit confusing, but there's just this kind of overall vibe to it, to where you kind of can't take your eyes off the screen. And again, it's done in such this weird sort of bizarre way. Some of the visuals are pretty mesmerizing. It has a bit of this experimental type feel to it as well. It's just something so different. And I would kind of put it in that category of, you're really either going to love it and jive with it, or you're going to absolutely hate it. There's not going to be too much in between. The film doesn't totally come together and fully work, but there is enough there that I did appreciate quite a bit of what he was going for. For a first effort with basically no budget, Singer really proved that he's got a unique visual eye. And so just the amount of creativity and ambition on display and just the way it's presented and edited, there is something here. And like I said, it doesn't fully come together, but given what I've seen in this movie, it really elevated my expectations for Cuckoo. And so I'm really looking forward to it now. But anyways, I think for my overall score, I'm going to be at like a 6 to 6.5. So if you're in the mood for something really bizarre and different, a very sort of unique spin on the demonic possession type movie, give it a watch. Yeah, Tilman Singer is one to keep an eye on. I'm looking forward to Cuckoo now, and I hope it's good. But anyways, those are my thoughts. If you've seen this, let me know your thoughts. Would love to hear from you. That's all I got for you. Once again, thank you so much for watching. If you got anything out of this, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you next time on The Haunted Beard.